In Hindsight Hurts today, BB will be sharing with you thoughts that her husband, MW, my brother in law, has been having and wants to share with our listeners. Like most with devastating losses of loved ones, he has hindsight moments and they are painful. Words said, memories had, and emotions not known to be significant at the time. Hindsight is 2020, so it is said, but no one makes you understand how badly those hindsight moments hurt and will continue to do so in the future.
And as usual, I just want to start out by saying if you are having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations, please, please, please call 988. Don't wait or hesitate or think that no one can help you, but please call 988 and get the help that you need. My husband wants to speak, but he still gets so emotional that he can't speak. Yet he wants his heart, feelings, hurts, and hindsights shared to hopefully help another man or anyone who finds himself losing a child or any loved one to suicide. So he asked me to share for him. I will be calling him MW to try to keep from causing confusion as I share his story. On January 7th, MW and I went to his doctor's appointment, and when we got home, our son wasn't home. I texted him about some food, and he responded that he would be gone through the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and most of Sunday, we weren't worried, but on Sunday evening, MW texted our son and asked him if he was okay. Our son responded to MW that he was fine and would be home first thing in the morning. On Monday, January 8th, MW had another doctor's appointment that day, and when he got home, our pastor, youth leader, and his wife pulled in the driveway behind him. When MW saw me standing on the porch and all of them pulling in behind him, he knew something was wrong, but had no idea what it could be. When I went to meet him to tell him our son was dead, MW's mind went numb, but at the same time, it was the worst pain he had ever felt. He felt a huge hole in his heart, and he thought he was my son, my friend, and my buddy. And he remembered he had just texted him the night before, and our son said he would be home the next morning. NW felt, I just went to the doctor and came home, and my whole life is turned upside down. Once his mind was no longer numb, NW said the thoughts were, what are you talking about? This is crazy. He didn't know what to say or do. He felt numb and his brain was spinning. Over the first few days or week, MW found himself looking out the door to see if our son's truck was here, to see if he was home. He also felt, I could always help him, do things for him, but losing him, there was nothing he could do for him. MW felt everything was out of his control. He wanted to see our son one last time, and since he was up north, we had to coordinate and make plans and figure things out to get our son here. With the grace of God and working with some really good people, we were able to bring our son home, and it was worth it. Seeing him was hard, and as we were leaving, MW looked back and said, he's all alone. MW felt helpless because he couldn't do anything. Our oldest son said, let's go back in, and MW, our son, and I went back in for one last visit. And then the what if started for MW, and how could I not have seen what was coming, or how could I have not known our son was even considering taking his own life? MW started thinking, what if I had done this or that, or if I had said this or that? And he keeps going back to a conversation he and our son had a few weeks before. MW and our son had been talking and joking around as usual, and our son said, there's something wrong with me, and was laughing as he said it. MW thought he was joking and said there's something wrong with all of us, and they both laughed. That is a hindsight that hurts him since he now knows that our son was serious. MW says he heard him but didn't hear him and now feels guilty and wishes he realized that our son was saying so he could have tried to do something to help him. When our son moved back here, he brought all of his tools with him, and MW would go to the shed and look at all the tools and would cry and be so sad. So eventually he sorted them out and gave some to our grandson, who lost his father, and some to our oldest son, and that was very painful. MW knew that our son would want his tools to be used and not just sit around. Over the years, MW has collected a lot of different things that he wanted to give to both of our sons. And now he looks at everything and gets very upset looking at the stuff he wanted to give our son. MW says just hearing our son's name causes him to break down. Seeing a father and son in person, or even on TV, hugging or just hanging out, causes MW to break down because he knows he will never be able to hug our son and tell him how much he loves him ever again. Certain songs trigger and upset MW. He says there is a huge hole in his heart that will never go away. He also thinks about how smart and good with his hands our son was, and that he could do just about anything he tried. Our son was good with the kids and would lend a helping hand whenever he could. When MW thinks about all of our son's potential, it really hurts him. MW said losing our son is the worst pain you can experience. MW has lost both parents, and that pain was nothing compared to this pain. MW's advice is to spend as much time with your kids as you can. Hug them and tell them you love them. NW heard a saying before we lost our son, and it keeps coming to his mind. It says, love the ones God gives you, because one day he may want them back. Then it will be too late. MW was so glad that he got to spend the last 2 months of our son's life with him. We are also very blessed to have 4 grandchildren through our son. We are thankful when they come and spend time with us. They are all different from each other, but they are like our son in so many ways, and we get to see him in them. So of course, so our son lives on in them and of course in our hearts. In closing, MW wants to stress that if anyone's thinking about suicide, to please find someone to talk to, a parent, family member, or a close friend, and please let them know that you are serious and not making a joke, since he didn't know our son was serious. And please remember, call 988 to get help or advice from a trained professional. I realize that not everyone may have family members or a parent or a good friend that they can talk with, but that's why we keep stressing, please call 988 for any help that you may need if you are having any of these tendencies. And again, if you are having these tendencies, please think about what you're doing, and these podcasts we hope will help you to see the devastation that is left behind as a result of making a permanent choice for a temporary solution. Thank you.
It breaks my heart hearing the pain of this big, strong man I've known my whole life. Unfortunately, his life has forever changed, and can only pray that with time the pain lessens a little. Talking about your losses and painful hindsights of memories and events through this podcast is what we are aiming for, to lessen the pain, even if just a little. Please tune in to our YouTube channel, Hindsight Hurts, every Tuesday for new episodes. We also invite anyone to email us at hindsighthurts@mail.com. We also have a Facebook page, Instagram, and you can also now find us on Spotify. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you.